Has this ever happened to you? Traffic everywhere. You're sitting at a standstill for what feels like hours. You got an important meeting to go to, but you know that you're not going to make it in this traffic. You honk the horn in frustration, but nothing will change the fact that you're simply stuck. What about that time you were super excited for a night in downtown, but you find that everyone else was super excited about a night out in downtown too? So you end up circling and circling and circling around the city looking for a parking spot until your excitement isn't quite there anymore. Hi, my name is Andrew Goncharov, and I'm a student at NC State studying computer science. And today, we'll be talking about how we can solve these problems. Did you know that the average driver in Raleigh spent 18 hours over the course of the year in traffic? And in Charlotte, our neighboring Queen City, they spent over 23 hours on average in a year in traffic. This problem isn't only costing us time either. A study found that it cost U.S. motorists $305 billion in 2017 in monetary loss due to traffic. That's an average of $1,445 per driver. These costs come specifically from extra fuel, indirect costs, higher delivery costs, and some other time-consuming expenses. Those statistics are related to traffic congestion in general. Another study conducted about parking specifically found that motorists spend about 17 hours per year on average looking for parking spots. Clearly, this is a pressing issue that's only going to get worse if we don't do something about it. So what are we going to do? Well, I have 3 proposals. 1. Start building underground tunnels in major cities. 2. Spread park tracking cameras to high-density parking spaces. And number 3. Provide tax relief for companies that are developing autonomous vehicles.
More and more and more cars. More on our roads than last year. And there'll be more next year. And the year after that, more and more cars will be built and more cars will be bought. And every one of them will be entitled to room on our roads and highways. The thing is, will there always be room for one more car? Well, there isn't even enough room now. Today, many of our highways are already obsolete. What would happen on them during a national emergency? The entire population under panic conditions trying to escape.
One of the first major pushes from the United States government in building our road infrastructure came from President Eisenhower when he passed the National Interstate and Defense Highways Act in June of 1956. This authorized $25 billion in construction for 41,000 miles for an interstate highway system. But after half a century has gone by, our transportation infrastructure is due for some innovation. My first proposition is largely inspired by Elon Musk's boring tunnel. The idea is to build a network of tunnels underground.
There's no real limit to how many levels of tunnel you can have. You can go much further deep than you can go up. The deepest mines are much deeper than the tallest buildings are tall. So you can alleviate any arbitrary level of urban congestion with the 3D tunnel network. This is a very important point.
This would make our road system a bit more three-dimensional, which would dramatically alleviate traffic congestion. Here's a concept video that introduces how these tunnels may be integrated with our cities. As you can see, it seamlessly allows drivers to transition in a tunnel without too much headache, all the while giving the passenger a much more streamlined route to their destination. So how are we going to do this, and how much is this going to cost? Well, with the use of innovative tunnel boring machines, we can effectively create tunnels at about $15 million per mile. This is significantly lower cost than it traditionally used to cost to build these tunnels, which lie at around $500 to $900 million per mile. One of the first projects that I recommend supporting is the one that the boring company already has in the works with the government, a 30-mile path from Baltimore to DC. After completing this project, we can use this as a model for future projects across many other high-density cities. Places like Los Angeles, New York, and Boston are in desperate need for some innovation to fix the traffic congestion problem. You might be wondering about the safety of these tunnels. What would happen if there was an earthquake? Rest assured, it's actually safer in a tunnel during an earthquake than on the surface. A geology professor from Caltech explains that during an earthquake, ground shaking causes buildings to rock back and forth, putting stress on them that can cause structural damage or even collapse. A tunnel, on the other hand, moves within the ground rather than atop it. So how long will a project like DC to Baltimore might take? Well, we can estimate it to be about 2 years. So if we were to break it down in terms of time to build per mile, it takes about 3.5 weeks to build 1 mile of tunnel. Of course, there are a lot of other variables that may go into play when building tunnels in other various places, but you can use these metrics as a general guideline in estimating the time it would take for other projects. Moving on to my second proposition, park tracking cameras. By using computer vision technology, we can install cameras around parking areas that will be able to track when a spot is open or occupied. Once we have that data, we can upload it to a common app that drivers in the surrounding area can use. This would save people time from searching and searching for parking spaces. It's as simple as that. All we need is an organized effort to make this technology more prominent around the United States. My final proposition is about the advent of self-driving cars in general. Self-driving cars have shown that cars can safely maneuver themselves much more safely and more consistently than a human driver can. A big reason we have traffic jams is because of people's inability to merge effectively on the highways. If everyone is using automated vehicles, the roads would become a much safer place, and there would be less traffic jams caused by accidents or other human-related driving errors. Tesla recently demonstrated this technology in one of their showcases this month. Technology has already exploded in many sectors of our lives, but we're only on the brink of a new wave of technology in the transportation sector. Let's leverage this new age of innovation and truly make a world of difference. Thank you.